At number 15 is Snorlax. The Pokémon with the least healthy body mass index is also one of your favorites, just barely edging out Venusaur to make this list. Was it his ability to block the normal flow of traffic, the fact that he would have literally slept forever if you didn't wake him up with a flute? Basically, Snorlax is what we all aspire for: sleep and eat all the time, and getting to take naps in the middle of busy intersections without suffering any consequence except being captured by an overenthusiastic child. At number 14 is Lapras. Lapras isn't the best Pokémon, but she's the best one give serve to. In something that most people would never guess, Lapras actually has some of the best base stats of any non-legendary Pokémon. But really, it's just nice to be able to ride the Loch Ness Monster equivalent while fighting off Tentacools. At number 13 is Haunter. Not only is Haunter the highest placing middle evolution on this list, he's the highest placing who is really into licking things with his long tongue. In the original Red-Blue generation, there were only 3 Ghost-type Pokémon, and if you tried evolving them, odds are you were stuck at Haunter longer than you expected to be. 12. Zapdos. One of the 3 legendary birds, the second one, as subtly indicated by its name ending in DOS. Zapdos was an amazing Pokémon for a lot of reasons. It's a legend and it's one of the strongest in the game. Move over Pikachu, you non-legendary, unevolved rodent. This is a real electric-type Pokémon. At number 11 is Articuno. It's the first legendary Pokémon you encountered in the games, yet that wasn't quite enough to crack the top 10. Articuno was one of the few Ice-type Pokémon you can find in the first generation, and probably the best. According to its Pokédex entry, it appeared to doom people lost on icy mountains. At number 10 is Scyther. Leading off the top 10 comes one of the coolest looking, if not performing, Pokémon, the badass bladed bug Scyther. In later generations, he would evolve into the similarly badass Scizor. But really, if you're dead set on using an oversized bug on your team instead of dragons and ghosts and psychic cats, you could do a lot worse than Scyther. At number 9 is Alakazam. The only Pokémon to be defined by his facial hair and predilection for holding kitchenware, Alakazam was the only 3-stage psychic-type evolution back in the days of Red and Blue. Known for its powerful psychic moves and the cause of one of the most hilarious lawsuits Nintendo ever had to put up with, Alakazam also finished off the best naming scheme of any evolutionary chain in the series: Abra, Kadabra, Alakazam. Also, it's super effective against Vanilluxes. At number 8 is Gyarados. One of the most shocking and satisfying experiences of the original Pokémon games were evolving your stupid, splashing, worthless Magikarp into a huge terrifying dragon. Having to start all your matches with the pathetic fish, pull it out and finish off your enemies so it gets a little XP was a chore. But it all paid off with a Hyper Beam blasting Gyarados. At number 7 is Arcanine. On top of being a solid fire-type Pokémon, Arcanine just looks majestic as shit. Man's best friend? More like man's beast friend. His base stats are crazy good too, if you're into that. But even if you're not, it's hard to deny that this fire canine could light up anything it went up against. Also, its species is legendary Pokémon, even though it's not an actual legendary. There are multiple Arcanines running around and all of them are legendary. That's how badass it is. At number 6 is Gengar. If you can bear to trade away your beloved Haunter, something magical will happen. It turns into a Gengar, the highest ranking ghost Pokémon of Generation 1. As creepy as a smiling gasball or licking ghost might be, Gengar stands above the others with his huge, toothy smile and the fact that it looks an awful lot like the undead spirit of a Clefable. Seriously, compare Clefable and Gengar. Someone killed a bunch of Clefables and that's what placed number 6 on this list. At number 5 is Dragonite. I'm not going to try to explain how a majestic blue eel turns into a big orange dragon, but Dragonite might be the most satisfying evolution in the game, if only because it seemingly takes forever to get to. The guy doesn't evolve until level 55, the highest level evolution in the game. It also helps that it ends up being one of the best Pokémon in the game, even if it does look like a jaundiced Barney the dinosaur. At number 4 is Mew. the most legendary of the legendaries. Mew existed only as an urban legend for a long time. Rumors ran about how to catch it, including one involving pushing a truck that literally everyone in the world fell for. And a way was eventually discovered of how to get it, although most settled for Game Genie or Game Shark cheats to get a team of Mews in the game. And the rarity came with a good reason. It was an extremely good Pokémon to have on your team. It could learn virtually any move. At number 3 is Blastoise. The only thing better than a giant angry turtle is a giant angry turtle, with pipes bursting out of its shell. As one of the 2 title mascots for the Pokémon cartridges, Blastoise was one of the most recognizable Pokémon out there and had one of the coolest names, although its French name, Tortank, is actually even a little cooler. Between this and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, shelled reptiles got a lot more badass in the 90s. At number 2 is Mewtwo. If you were playing Pokémon Red Blue and your team didn't include Mewtwo, you were a joke. You were more than a joke. You were the inferior clone of a joke. Hell, back then if you had a little brother who didn't know anything about trading Pokémon, you could have 2 Mewtwo's on your squad and be virtually unstoppable. Because this Pokémon was the likely last Pokémon you would catch in the game, the one you saved your Master Ball for, and one of, if not the strongest Pokémon in the game. Thank goodness for nightmarish genetic experiments. At number 1 is Charizard. Here it is, the greatest Pokémon of the first generation, the Searing Salamander, Kanto's colossal pyromaniac. Charizard, while all the starters turn into pretty formidable final forms, none can really rival a winged fire dragon, which is technically not a dragon, but come on, that's totally a dragon. While other fire types came and went, Charizard, like Blastoise and Venusaur before him, was the one so many of us started with, and the one that brought us through to the end of our first Pokémon journey.